What could have been, might have been even worse. Imagine this.
Let me see.
Think what could have happened if the Packers went with Barry
That's a tough look.
Sanders.
Oh, man. I'll tell you,
Hard to swallow.
I threw up a little bit in my mouth. And it's not because I hate the Packers. It's just because when you see Barry Sanders, you automatically think Honolulu blue and silver. So that's tough. That's tough for me to swallow right there, being a former Lion. But this is hindsight 2020.
It's
We're
magic
talking
time.
about changing the course of history, the butterfly effect.
There it is, guys. Look at that
Fantasy
list.
football.
That's 1 through 5, and we have a draft right now. We're talking, O.J. Howard and Mitch Trubisky go in the top 5. Maybe they become this. Like, we're talking as if, Myles Garrett might be one of these players, but that top 5 with Mandarich too. Now look at this comparison. That's not
They passed
fair.
on 3 Hall of Famers.
This isn't fair.
They like Tony. They looked at Dion and that ridiculous 40 and all. They said, give me Mandarich. Give
We don't need the 40 time.
How about Barry Sanders' career? Oh, and I could just watch highlights all day. Just leave this on. I'll just talk over it. Don't even show any of our faces. This is beautiful stuff right here. 10 years, 10 Pro Bowls. All right. Every single year of his career, he went to the Pro Bowl. Oh, this is catnip for me, guys.
Peter,
Barry Sanders highlights. This is my birthday.
Oh,
Thank
look at
you.
those poor Jets running
Thank
after.
you, producer.
This is happy birthday.
Happy birthday. Look at these
happy
runs. This is
right
behind the line of scrimmage. Look at Rodney Peete. Touchdown, we're in.
For many years in his career, he led the league in runs over 20 yards and runs for a loss. Led the league. That was the Barry Sanders experience.
And broken tackle.
And broken tackle. How about this, Peter? This is 1989. It comes out. I'm fast forwarding 3 years. What if the Packers took Barry Sanders, and in 1992 they got a quarterback from Southern Miss? Then we have Favre and Sanders in the same backfield. I don't know if the 90s could handle that.
They would run
Well,
the show.
it would have been the
Everything.
dynasty. It would have been the dynasty.
The gunslinger and then the ultimate
this run.
ad-libber.
He
He's
stays
still
on
going.
speed.
Look at the guy's turning the other
Look at
way.
461.
You look like a fool.
Well, listen.
Oh, my God.
We joke in sports, in basketball, in football.
Look at this. Watch 42. Watch 42, please.
Broke his ankles.
Nate,
on
watch
Thanksgiving.
42. Where am I going? What am I doing? Wait,
He's a
not
professional
done yet.
football player.
He literally broke ankles and tore ACLs. Like, he did that on his own.
Yeah. I think I pulled a hammy watching his highlights. They're the best.
Here's a better question. So he plays 10 years. If he goes to the Packers, does he play 15 years? Does he win a Super Bowl?
Yes, he definitely wins the Super Bowl. They won one without him.
Yeah, definitely wins the Super
With
Bowl.
respect to Edgar Bennett.
He's part of a dynasty.
Dorsey Levens, we love you.
He has jewelry in his jewelry box. He's a Super Bowl champion. And he probably would go down undoubtedly the best running back of all times. Because here's the thing, if he would have continued to play, he would have shattered the record. And I remember people making speculations saying, well, it's because of the terrible team he's on and the offensive line doesn't block for him. He's tired of getting hurt, getting banged up, getting hit in the backfield. And then he came out and some say that he spoke about sweetness. And he said, my relationship with Walter Payton won't allow me to stay in the league just to break his record.
If he had played one more year.
He would have.
Emmett does break it eventually, right?
Eventually.
If Barry
Eventually.
he only played 10 years. If he had played an 11th year, I think he had to go 1,900 yards, maybe 1,600 yards. He might have broken Walter Payton. And the story goes, he didn't want to break Payton's record.
He respected it. Now, when people took Mandarich, or when the Packers took Mandarich, no one was like, terrible pick. I like to point that out in this segment.
Right.
Because it seemed like the right pick at the time. And you'll think about this. That same draft, 1989, this was the guy.
This is not quite the same treasure trove.
No, but if you were to go, all right, same draft, 7th round, Marion Butts gets drafted out of Florida State. If they had taken Marion Butts 2nd overall, that's a great pick, and everyone would have screamed at them, what are you doing? You're crazy. 10th round, they had 10 rounds. Mark Schlereth out of Idaho. Great pick for them, but everyone would have slammed them as, what are you doing? Who's running this organization? It would have looked idiotic at the time, but at the time, Mandarich,
It's hard to pass up on big guys like that. Even nowadays, it's hard to pass up
Draft is
on
impossible.
You
big
don't blame,
offensive linemen.
them for taking Mandarich over a guy like Sanders who was a monster.